Okay, hi, welcome. And we are back. We just did our energy exchange where we found that the energy we would most benefit from releasing today was absent-mindedness. And the new energy, the new vibe, we're calling it in its place is consideration. So this feels very mental to me today, but as always, we never know what's going to happen when we dive into our spiritual response technique charts. This is a dowsing modality, dowsing, taking our pendulum and getting information off of our charts. This is a dowsing modality that is wonderful for finding those things that are hiding beneath the surface that we don't know are influencing us, that are operating us, that are potentially giving us a hard time. Well, we can find them through the use of the dowsing, find them, release them, intentionally say, I don't want you in my life anymore. I don't need you hanging out below the surface. Why don't you come to the top so that I can look at you, deal with you, and then let you go on your way because I don't really need you here. And then we can also look at any blocks we might have to new energy, good energy, change, positivity, learning, all these things that would then benefit us in our soul's evolution, in our physical evolution, and our mental evolution. So it's kind of this cool method of, I see it as like a little submarine. I'm like going deep into the ocean of information, the ocean of knowledge, the ocean of truth. And I'm just getting my little light, right? I just have my little light and I'm just like searching out information that has been buried, information that has been, in the subterranean realms. And I bring them up with my submarine and we're like, hi, here you go. Here's this thing that was hiding. Now that you can see it, what do you want to do with it? I have suggestions for what I think you can do with it. I have suggestions for spirit, for source, for all that is to say, hey, can you do something with this? And then ultimately it's up to you to decide, do you want to then bury it below the surface again, let it sink back down, not deal with it? Or do you want to be like, yeah, Kate, your idea, that whole like releasing this thing, this whole letting it go thing, that sounds great. That's what I want to do. In which case you just sort of have to participate with me. You just have to choose that you're going to let that go. And you have to choose how your behaviors are now going to be different now that you have decided to no longer let this thing that was under the surface drive you and motivate you and inspire you. So let's dive in. Let's get in our submarines. Boop. And let's go deep beneath the surface. And we're going to look at what is going on with this absent-mindedness we've been having. I am curious here, although it says absent-mindedness, which makes us think this is sort of like a mental thing we're working on today, which I'm sure it is on some level. I'm also thinking about how earlier in the week, I have been really trying to think about what I can do here that would benefit all of us with the crap that's going on in our country right now. And I do not want to come into this space and seem like I am a spiritual bypasser, like I am somebody who is saying, oh, let's just wish and pray and sit in our living rooms and everything will be fine and, whatever. I am definitely somebody who wants to support all of us as best as we can, while also acknowledging that sometimes things are beyond our control as far as like patterns that just are bound to play out, influences, external influences that are just there, and we cannot do anything. We can't run from them. We can't hide from them. We can't pray them away. We're going to have to deal with them. We're going to have to show up for them. What I can do, though, what I like to think of what's happening here with SRT is how do we support you in dealing with that pattern, in dealing with that trauma that's going to come up, in dealing with that heartbreak that may arise, in dealing with that shattering of your reality that is bound to happen to all of us. Just going to say at this point, like we are barreling towards an unknown future at this point. It could be wonderful. It could all turn out fine. It could all turn out awful. I'm not really sure, but I do know that we all could use some support in getting us from point A, which is where we're at right now, to point Z, which is wherever we're going. And we need support along all of those steps of the way. We need support at B, C, D, E, etc. And that's what I want to do for you here today. But what's interesting is I had been thinking this week about how numb we all are on a lot of levels to the icky reality of what is going on out there in the world. we see it, but we're numb to it. We see it, but it's like, that's what's happening out there and that other town and that other place to those other people. It doesn't influence me, so I'm just going to be numb or, closed off to it because it's not here in my present reality. And it's interesting for me because I wasn't thinking of that as absent-mindedness, but it's interesting that what came up is absent-mindedness. And I feel as soon as absent-mindedness came up, I was like, this is what I've been sort of thinking about. This is what I've been sort of praying about, is like, how can we release ourselves from the mental paralyzation that has been done to us through the media, through, external factors, through programming, through the systems that we are living inside of that have tried to tell us everything is fine as long as you are still consuming, still showing up to your 9 to 5, still, whatever the case may be. So I'm curious to see what comes up in this today. I'm sorry I just talked for 6 minutes, but you're stuck with me. You're stuck with me. There's not a lot of people on the internet doing this spiritual response technique thing. So you're stuck with me. If you want to see this, you're stuck with me and my opinions about all of this. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to find out what is the root of this absent-mindedness. What is going on here with the root of this absent-mindedness? And then hopefully what can we do to release ourselves from it? Well, our ego is coming up. And so anything here on chart 3 you want to show me about our egos? Yeah, our egos are just very much down here at universal God consciousness. So when we're thinking about the evolution of our soul, the evolution of our spiritual journey from the point of we were one with God, then we individuated, we separated, we come into human form, we go through all of the lifetimes and all of the things that are going to shape us, all of the things that are going to give us these soul experiences. And then hopefully someday when we elevate, we learn, we grow, we experience, we get to come back into wholeness with source. We get to come back into wholeness with light. We get to come back into wholeness with spirit. Well, we are right now very much in that human part of that journey. We are not really being too elevated right now. We are stuck down at the level of human consciousness. That is what is breeding this absent-mindedness, because we're just stuck down in the humanness of it all. And bless our hearts, we are just not all that smart sometimes. We are just not all that wise sometimes. And, some of that is not our fault. Some of it is our fault. We like to stay asleep to, our own truth, our own nature. And so I'm going to put my pendulum over this whole area of universal God consciousness. And I'm just going to say, Spirit, clear it, bring us up, unblock us, motivate us, inspire us to get past this level, to get past this place that we're at where we are just stuck. I just think of it as like reality TV land. It's like we are stuck being entertained by reality TV. We are stuck being entertained by the unreality of reality TV, of Hollywood, of, all the junk they're feeding us in the media, all the junk they're feeding us in politics. We're just so stuck in it, and we're not recognizing that we are so much bigger and so much more powerful and so much wiser and so much more magical than all of that. When you're down stuck in reality TV land, you are disconnected from your magic. You're disconnected from your divine powers. So we're releasing us from this obsession we have with this sort of the human mind, the human sensibility, the human idea of what is important, what is valuable, and calling us into our sense of connection, our sense of spirit, our sense of wisdom. We're calling all of that in for us now. Okay, what else do we need to know about this absent-mindedness? What's causing it? What's the root of it? What do we need to know to let it go? We're going to chart 27, which is called Learning is Fun. I think so too. I love learning. Sometimes it's hard, but learning is fun. It's a continuous process. It is infinite. This is the message, is that learning is an infinite process. And where are we at on that process? Well, for some of us, we are again way down low. For others of us, we've maybe achieved somewhere in the middle. Others of us have learned so much, we've elevated, and we're now back at source, hanging out and having a good time. So I'm just going to say we're clearing anything that is blocking us from growing into the next phase of our spiritual awareness. Because again, like I said at the beginning, sure, this sounds like a mental issue. This sounds like a mental clearing. We're doing it on some level. I believe it is. We're all gaining some mental clarity through all of this. And there's always a spiritual component. Always a spiritual component. All right, anything else we can do here today as it relates to this absent-mindedness? How can we get out of this absent-mindedness? Is this 6C or is this 6B? 6C, well, that's interesting. Those are some of the icky energies that we started with, our first chart during our energy exchange. So what is it? What is going on with this absent-mindedness? Interesting. It's interesting. We have a lot of options here. It kind of go into a few different ways. Is this aggression we're releasing, irrationality, or vulnerability? Vulnerability. We're not wanting to be vulnerable. I think that's what that is. So we're not wanting to be vulnerable. Oh yeah, because on some level, staying in this egoic mind, staying in the mind of, base human consciousness allows us to not have to be vulnerable. When we are absent-minded and we just get to disconnect and dissociate from the reality of what is really going on here, the reality of the spiritual battle we're in, the reality of what is being asked of us as a collective to rise up and enter into this age of Aquarius, when we are absent-minded and disconnected from all of that, we don't have to be vulnerable. It feels very vulnerable on some level to accept that life is changing, to accept that reality as we know it is changing, to accept that the days of reality TV are over. The days of allowing ourselves to be entertained by, such base stuff is coming to an end. And we are being called to elevate, or being called to step up, or being called to become more than human. To show up as more than human, to show up as hearts that feel for one another, as souls that want to connect and protect one another, as spirits that love one another and that, want to do nice things for one another, that want to and are not afraid to stand in harmony with other people, to fight for the things that we believe in, to fight for the life that we want. We are no longer just willing to be numb to the violence and the terror that is happening in the world around us. We are no longer going to be willing to come home every night after work, turn on the TV, and get sucked into absent-mindedness. We are all being called to wake up. We are all being called to stand in the truth, which is that crap's not acceptable. That stuff is not acceptable, and we no longer want to associate ourselves with that sort of, again, base human understanding, that sort of base human belief that there is an us against them, that there is, that there is anything bad or wrong about any human being that is traveling to a different country to try to live and survive and make themselves acceptable and have a happy, successful life. We're moving past that as an overall species on this planet, not just here in this country, but across the planet. I know, and I believe with my whole heart that we are all trying to wake up, and it is a battle. It is a battle between those of us, the majority of us, who are trying to wake up and no longer be absent-minded, with those that would have us be asleep, with those that would like to have us be absent-minded, because in our absent-mindedness, we are easily controlled. So that is the battle between those that want us to be asleep, those that want us to be absent-minded, and the rest of us that are being called to wake up, whether we like it or not. Some of us against our will. Some of us are not happy to be waking up right now, but it is happening whether we like it or not. So that is the battle right now. And as I spin my pendulum and as I'm sending energy out with love from my heart to all of us who are facing that right now, I'm really just calling upon, again, this lack of absent-mindedness, so that when we are in this energy of consideration and awareness, we will know what to do. We will know what each of us is called to do in this battle, in this dynamic. Each of us has a different role to play. Some of us have a role to play on the front lines, on the ground. Some of us have roles to play behind the scenes. Some of us have roles to play in creating and finding the resources. Some of us have roles to play in sharing information, stepping out on social media, making things known, whatever the case may be. So everybody in society has a role right now to play with their awareness, with their consideration, and with this new sense of themselves that they are waking up to. And that's what I'm calling on now, is for all of us to be aware of our role now, of what we need to do moving forward to play a very important, beneficial part of this grand awakening that is happening. Cool. Well, that's no big deal, right? We'll just do that and it'll be fine. Okay, so now are we going to 8D, soul level connections, or are we going to chart 4? Chart 4. So we're going to find out some information. Maybe there's some past lives here. Past life stuff here. That's usually what our chart 4 means. So I have an angel that we are identifying here. We have a guardian angel that we are identifying here, and we have a cherub that we are identifying here. So there's some angelic beings here. Curious what's going on here. So is there a program you want to show me that's happening? Past lives in other dimensions. So we have a past life in another dimension. Do you want me to explain that? Past life in another dimension. So we're in this dimension, and there's this dimension, and there's this dimension, and there's all these different dimensions that our awareness can kind of bop in and out of, spend time in, whatever. And then there's this one, and there is a past life in one of those dimensions with these angelic characters all hanging out. And then what is there anything else here as far as like an imprint of what? So then we go to chart 6A and we find what kind of energy was imprinted during this past life that we are looking to have cleared. An imprint of anger. Okay, an imprint of anger. And then what else inside? An imprint of despair. Anger, despair, and then the outside, vengefulness. Okay, so there is energy of despair, vengefulness, and what was the other one? Oh, anger. Anger, despair, and vengefulness from this past life. And again, we're talking about a spiritual battle, which is probably why these more spiritual beings came forward. Angel, cherub, guardian angel, guide, whatever it was. That vibe, that energy has been imprinted on the collective, on consciousness, on greater awareness, maybe even on source, on spirit, on all that is from this past life in this other dimension. And so we're just asking for it to be cleared. Is this weird and bizarre? Absolutely. I'm still getting used to this stuff, y'all. I'm a good Christian. I come from a good Christian girl background, okay? This stuff is, I get it. This stuff is weird. And then I'm all about like science, prove it to me, whatever. We're going to let go of all that now. We have to let go of all that now. We have to let go of all that. We just have to say we believe that there is absolutely a spiritual battle going on. We believe that there is evil in this world. We believe that there is good in this world. And we believe that they are battling it out on some level. And we believe that just in saying we're asking for these energies that these angels have been bogged down by to be cleared so that our angels can fight for us. That's what I'm saying right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, okay? I'm saying that right now we need to clear all of our angels and guides from the anger, the vengefulness, the hate, so that they can be empowered to fight this battle with us. We need our angels and our guides to be cleared so that they can fight this battle with us. And I'm actually seeing them coming to the front lines with us as humans, standing behind us. Trust and believe that I absolutely think angels are real, because again, I call on them anytime I travel, and I just have the deepest sense of comfort knowing that they are there with me. And if my angels can travel with me, I call them my parking angels. Okay, they're my parking angels. If I can believe in parking angels, then we can also believe in angels that are like, hey, can you please clear this energetic crap that has been imprinted on me from all these past lives of all of these spiritual battles, so that I can come now, like heal and hold and ready to go and ready to battle this out with y'all. I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that. I don't mind saying, Spirit, please clear the angels. The angels are carrying a lot of icky energy with them because of all the crap they've been through. So can we clear them too? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say we're clearing the angels today, folks. That's what we're doing. Again, sorry. I don't know. This is just what's coming up. It's just what we're saying. Okay, what else can we do today? Okay, what else can we do for our interesting visual programming? So we're looking at this absent-mindedness, and now we're saying there's some visual programming that we need to get on point, get on board. It's like we need to be able to visualize victory is what I'm hearing. We need to believe in this, and the power of our angels and our guides and ourselves to win this battle over absent-mindedness and paralyzation of will, and the gaslighting and manipulation that these billionaire narcissists have done to all of us. We're calling upon all of us to be able to wake up, to be able to envision a new and better world where this is not the dynamic. And again, I'm not trying to be cheesy. I'm not trying to be spiritual bypassy. And yet at the same time, what I'm feeling and hearing is ask for it, wish it to be so, believe that there is a better future, believe that we can win this battle. And that does help. Who was it? There was a famous female warrior who should not have been involved in beating this other big army. She had a tiny little army, but she believed in it. She believed that she could do it. She believed that she was powerful enough, that her team was powerful enough. And I swear to you, she probably called in the angels. She's like, angels, I need your help. So that's what we're doing right now. We're allowing ourselves to visualize a better world. We're not being spiritual bypassing. We're not being delusional, but we are saying we allow ourselves to believe in a better world. We allow ourselves to believe that this can and will turn out okay for all of us as spiritual divine beings, that we can defeat the evil that is trying to take hold right now. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of today is, actually I do have to get on an airplane today, and then I'm going to be visualizing us winning this battle, and them with their tail between their legs, having to get on their own airplanes to fly somewhere else because they're not welcome here anymore. Unwillingness to accept change. We're releasing all of us from our unwillingness to accept change. And I really do think for many of us, we just think this is how it's always been. Since I was born, there's always been this ridiculousness. There's always been these wars. There's always been these battles. There's always been this fighting. And so it can never change. It will never be any other way. And that's what we have to clear out of the way. We have to believe that there is a different kind of reality that is possible. There is a different kind of universe that is possible for all of us. We have to believe that it's true. If we don't believe that it's true, nothing will ever change. And we have to allow ourselves to go through that transformation process from what we've always known into this new and different reality. But we've got to allow ourselves to transform. We've got to allow ourselves to transition from the old into the new. That is what is being asked of us right now. And not only is it being asked of us, it's being demanded of us. And if you're not willing to go through that transformation, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. You got to be willing. You got to be willing to transform. Okay, so what else is going on here? We're going back to chart 19. Grandma's good advice. What do we got here for us, Grandma? Enjoying. Can you also allow yourself to enjoy life? Maybe we've been absent-minded because life has been so hard. It's been the best way of coping is to just dissociate and be absent-minded. And maybe the way to stay present, maybe the only way to truly stay present, to truly fight and to truly transform is to actually enjoy the process. Bring music, bring laughter, bring instruments with you. If you're going to go out, wearing your best outfit. Go out in all of your jewels and wear your butterfly wings, wear your glitter, put on whatever you need to put on to make sure that you're able to show up with enjoyment and to be able to face this next challenge with enjoyment. And again, I know you're probably thinking, Kate, that sounds real spiritual bypassy. And again, that's not what we're trying to do here, but we're just trying to interpret the message from source, from all of us, from all of our higher selves, which is, yes, this is a battle. Yes, it's going to be really hard. Yes, you can survive it. Yes, you need to clear our angels and ask our angels and guides for their help and give them help where they need it. Yes, we need to be able to wake up to the reality of our own ego and the way that we have created part of this dynamic and participated in part of this dynamic and allowed ourselves to be gaslit and lied to, and that we haven't taken accountability, we haven't taken responsibility, we haven't stepped up for ourselves and for our fellow man. And can we enjoy the process of getting to this next phase? Because as humans, if we don't enjoy something, we're not going to do it. But we are responsible for our own enjoyment. We have to make sure that we are enjoying it. We have to be a part of the process of that enjoyment. You can't wait for somebody else to give you enjoyment. You have to create the enjoyment for yourself. So can you fight this battle and also allow yourself to experience joy and happiness and pleasure in the midst of it? And I think you can look back on all of history and say, you can darn well guarantee that art was still created during times of trauma and during times of battle and war. And there was still babies still made, and there was still, divine things happening, and there was still joy and song being written. I mean, song has been written through all sorts of trials and tribulation. And we do that as part of our expression. We do that to express our grief, and we also do that to express our joy. So we are being called upon to express both of those things right now through creativity and through our enjoyment of life as a process. Life as a infinite learning experience. So are we blocked at all? What percent are we blocked to being in consideration? 0%. 1% are we open to being in consideration? 100%. So I'm really feeling like we did what we needed to do, but I'm going to ask, is there anything else you want me to look at right now? Anything else on these charts? Anything else that I can do? And I'm just getting a spinning circle, which means no, this is over. I'm getting a yes, it's over. So we're going to say we're doing 100% of 100% of mop up. We're clearing the entire gymnasium of any of the dirt, the specks, anything that I didn't call out, anything I didn't name. We're clearing it now. And I'm going to ask again to clear our angels and our guides and give them a boost, give them a spiritual kick, give them the Gatorade, give them the, the OT and the PT and all the physical support that they need, because they are here to battle it out with us and they need support as well. So what are our new replacement energies that we're going to call in? Obviously, we've called in consideration. Consideration just came up again. Isn't that funny? That's what we're calling in. That's it. That's our replacement energy. We got to be in consideration. We got to stop being numb to what's going on out there in the world. We got to stop being blind to it. We have to visualize a better life, visualize a better opportunity for all of us, and we have to get engaged with the process. We can no longer be asleep. We can no longer be asleep to what's going on out there in the world. We have to play a role, all of us. And again, if you just want your role to be the person that bakes the muffins to send out to the front line, that's beautiful. You can bake the muffins to send out to the front line. If you want to be the person that makes yourself weird and puts your weird videos on spirituality on the internet, you can be that guy too. You can be any guy you want to be in this story. You don't have to be the person that is putting their body on the line, putting their life on the line, although you can be. We're going to need a lot of them too. But yeah, figure out, wake up to who and what you want to be in the next phase of this life that we all get to live, in the next phase of this reality. So let's drop back in. Let's find ourselves right here, right now, in this very present moment, not worrying about the past or thinking about the future. Softening, receiving and accepting the healing, the clearing that just took place, and our role in this next bit of life. All right, everybody. If you want to have a one-to-one session with me, you can reach me at www.thepointedstone.com. I also now have up on my Etsy shop audio, video recordings, so I can record for you your very own personalized clearing message. You can keep it forever and ever and ever. And I think that's all for now. All right. Thanks for watching another episode of Clearing with Kate, and we will see you next time.